Mark, first of all, welcome to the club. What is it that excites you about the opportunity to manage Stoke City?
Right, so I needed a break for a few weeks after the 8 years I spent at Coventry City, and I've had that, and I found over a few weeks I started to get itchy feet. But I have in my mind some owners and some clubs that I would have been interested in, and Stoke was one of those. And then after having conversations with the owner, John Coates, and with Jon Walters as well, their passion and determination to drive the club forward became really apparent really quickly. This is a really good club, and one that's always been in the back of my mind. If I were to be looking for another job, this would be one. And you know, the fact that it's got good players, it's got great history and tradition, really attracted me to it. And clearly it's a really big club. It is a project, there's no doubt about it. And you know, watching, they've got some really good players. We've got some really good players, and the supporters are absolutely outstanding. They're passionate. They demand a certain type of football, a certain type of player, and that'll obviously be something that we strive to implement when we're recruiting, but also on the pitch. I watched the game against Sunderland the other day, and you know, that epitomised what I think Stoke City supporters want, and the players delivered it brilliantly, and led really well by Ryan Shawcross the other day and his staff. And I'm really excited by the challenge. It's a big challenge, there's no doubt, but I'm looking forward to working for the supporters and for the club, and helping the players sort of achieve their capabilities. So for me, it's a brilliant opportunity, there's no doubt about it, and one I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth into.
You mentioned Jon Walters and John Coates there. What did the discussion centre on when you spoke to them?
The club, football, you know, around what's happened, what's happening, what their plans are moving forward, the infrastructure work that's going on. Obviously, we've got a situation where the team just maybe lacked a little bit of belief or confidence for whatever reason, which happens from time to time in the Championship. It's relentless, and you know, we spoke around that. We spoke about what my vision is, how my team's set up, and play football, and obviously how we wanted to move things forward. It moved forward really quickly, to be fair, and over a busy Christmas period for everybody. I was really impressed with everything that they had to say. They didn't really need to sell me too much on it, but you know, to know and understand their passion and determination to move it forward is always key. And I think when you go into a football club, I think ownership is one of those things certainly that I look for, and I'm delighted to be here, there's no doubt.
What do you make of the squad that you've inherited, and how will you look to get the best out of them?
I think we've got some really talented players, there's no doubt about that. I think that for whatever reason, you know, teams go through ups and downs during a Championship season. It's always difficult, it's always relentless. But you've got to find a way. You've always got to strive to find a way of getting results. I want players to be themselves. I want them to be in positions where they can maximise their potential on the pitch. To do that, the culture around the place has got to be really good. And that's something as well that Jon Walters and myself and the staff and the players will put into place. This is a really different situation from others, because I'm coming in midway through a season in a really busy period of games, so you've got to bear that in mind as well. Players are at different stages in either rehabilitation or coming back from injury, or some have played a lot of games, and you've got to manage that load really intelligently, I think. But really, to get to know the players first is important, but I won't be doing anything and asking them to do things that they can't do. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a really good club, really good challenge, and one I'm really excited to take on.
You mentioned earlier about the infrastructure and the facilities. How will they help you in terms of hitting the ground running?
Well, the infrastructure and the facilities are outstanding. They're second to none. There's a lot of work going on. Obviously, there's some building work going on as well. Stadium's outstanding. I think really, I look at the whole city, and I think that we need everybody together. There's no doubt about that. And I think that the city's motto is united, strength is stronger. And that's something that I'll be sort of drawing on throughout my tenure. And I think if everybody can be together, it makes for a really strong mix and helps everybody get behind the players, because the human beings at the end of the day, if they feel that support from the supporters, from us inside the club, you can take the club any way that you want to. So, you know, I'm asking for that right from day one, and that will be really important.
What are your kind of core principles as a manager?
I think you've got to win. There's no doubt about that. You've got to win. You've got to make sure that those building blocks are in place to achieve that. But also, it's a really competitive league where it's very, very tight. Certainly this season, it's tight. Anybody can beat anybody else on the day, and we've got to have more days. And the performance against Sunderland, for me, epitomised what the players have got, the strengths that they've got. And we've got to build on that. I think there'll certainly be things that we'll do slightly differently. Maybe the working week will look slightly different, but certainly from my perspective, intensity and the intensive sessions, the work that we do on the grass will stand us in good stead for playing the games. And also the academy is really important. Any football club, it's the lifeblood of the football club and the community, really. Players are coming in from either locally or from a little bit further afield, but it's really important because that sort of, it makes a heady mix, because you've got players coming through, local boys playing. So I'll be looking for that, and there has to be a pathway for those players, and they've got to feel that. So eventually that's where we'll get to. Initially, we've got to make sure that to hit the ground running, we've got to make sure that we get everybody ready to go, clear instruction, and a clear way of playing and training.
Talking of playing, what sort of style do you like to deploy?
Again, my ideal football is quick attacks, quick, fast playing into play. Players linking together, having a real understanding of what's being asked of them, both in and out of possession. And I think with the rest of the coaches, I think it's going to be a really good time. But there's plenty of work to be done. So again, that's another thing. I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to getting my teeth into that, and making sure that we can hit the ground running. Because, as I've said before, the teams above us, we've got to try and catch. And that's where our focus will be, on ourselves, but also trying to catch them.
You bring in a couple of coaches with you as assistant managers, James Rowbury and Paul Nevin. What can you tell us about the qualities they possess?
Well, Paul's been working at top level, worked for the England under-20s for a period, worked with David Moyes for a prolonged spell, was at Brighton and Hove Albion as well. A really well-respected coach, somebody who I have looked at previously, and delighted that he's here. He will offer a lot of experience, but a lot of quality. He's an elite coach, as is James. He's been head of the club at Newport County. He was manager there, and he's been working with Craig Bellamy with the Welsh team, and also he's a coach educator as well. So that bodes well, but also he's a really good guy. They're both really good guys. I know we've got good coaches in the building as well, and I'm looking forward to meeting them later, and we'll set our stall out to give the players everything that they need.
You've managed almost 800 games as a manager. What have you learnt about yourself over the last 17 years?
Good question. I know that I love the job. I know that I love football. I love seeing players develop. I love maximising their potential on the pitch. I love getting results. That's the best part of the game. But I think results are different. Players that I've had before have gone on to do onto bigger and better things, to be fair, and done really, really well. I think that clubs have to develop. They have to develop their own players, and hopefully you move along with them and they take you where you want to get to. But sometimes they outgrow you quicker, and clubs take them. That's part and parcel of life, and certainly of football. But I want them to really enjoy it. I want them to be ready for this challenge without a doubt. But as far as I'm concerned, I love the job. I just want to take it as far as I possibly can do. And this is my first few minutes inside the training ground. It's a fantastic training ground. everything's here, and I'm sure that the previous managers have said the same thing. I need to get to the bottom of what we need to do to try and tie things all together to move it forward, and that's one of my skill sets. Working with John, working with the owner John Coates and Jon Walters. I'm really looking forward to it. I think everything's there, everything's set up. It's just now, again, I think really the key point is to tie everything together and make sure it works and functions together. Everybody's aligned and same messages for everybody throughout the club. And that's something I'll be working on. But again, the important part is out on the grass and working with the players to get the results that you need.
You spent several years at Coventry where you experienced considerable success. What will you take from that experience into this role?
Well, it was different. So each club's different. You've got to go in and assess what the club is and where it is. And this club's different than Coventry. And each club is unique. So at Coventry there was a lot of instability. You know, it certainly wasn't stable. There was the ground move. Went to Birmingham City. We got relegated to League Two, and things had to be built from the ground up. Really, here is totally different. There's stability here, but you still during that period you have to build, and you have to make sure that you've got the right ingredients there to get the results that you need to stay in the role. The first job that I had at Rotherham United, we lost the stadium, we lost the training ground, we got a 10-point deduction going into administration. We came out of administration, got a 17-point deduction. We finished 10th in that season, which was incredible really. We would have finished 5th in the playoff places, but we were always playing in a virtual league, so we knew where we were. And we knew where we would be had the points deduction hadn't been imposed. But that was a real, lesson in management, really. I remember doing a podcast, and Graham Taylor was on the podcast at the time, and he said to me, "You won't appreciate it now, but it'll stand you in good stead for the rest of your managerial career." And at that point, I sort of thought about it, but it has. There's no doubt about it. It has, and any of the adversity that you suffer goes along with it, but also so does the success. So I can draw on a lot of experiences that I've had. The playoff final with Luton Town a couple of years ago. Last year we were in the semi-final of the FA Cup. There were 4 Wembley trips. There was a lot of success there, and that's down to everybody, and that's the collective, And I think that's certainly something that I will be drawing on for the rest of my managerial career, and I want us to. This is a starting point, and again, we need everybody together. So I will be saying that quite a lot because it's really, really important. It's really key. Everybody's aligned in the football club, from the supporters all the way through.
You mentioned the supporters there. How important will they be to you in terms of helping to take us forward?
Well, I hope I've sort of articulated that they're key to any football club. They're the lifeblood of any football club, without a doubt. They're passionate. They know what they want to watch. We'll endeavour to put that on the pitch for them. I'm excited because the players that we have in the building are really good players. They've got some real talent amongst them. And the supporters will help. Again, we're human beings, and they need to feel that support. Life is different now. I think with social media and all you may get 100 positive comments and 1 negative, and human nature is you'll focus on the negative one, or you can focus on the negative one. I think with everybody pulling in the same direction, you can achieve anything. So that's what I'll be looking for, and that's what I'll be hoping for, and we'll work really, really hard to be engaging and to work with them, and certainly work for the supporters. I'm really looking forward to that.
And finally, what do you consider the short and long-term targets?
Short term is to change results, by putting in place all of the things I've sort of briefly spoken about. But I think you've got to start there, not look too far in the future, to make sure that the groundwork's put in now, to start the building process, to start that process. If you get carried away and start focusing too far in the future, I think it can trip you up. But again, there's enough here to be able to do that. the staff of the staff will play a really key part in that to ensure that everybody's got what they need and they're getting the information that they need and the training that they need, and make sure everybody's in the right place to play.